Hello everybody, I am Brightman19 and welcome to episode 6 of our CSA campaign in Empire Total War, Brother versus Brother. So we are being attacked just outside of Washington, D.C. The good news about this attack is they've got so many men coming in to the fight that we're actually going to be able just to sit on the defense and probably kill a ton of troops. So we just need to sit back, relax, let them come to us. We are hurt. We're not full strength, but we do have quite a few good troops, so. I know only two tunes. One of them is Yankee Doodle, and the other isn't. U.S. General Ulysses S. Grant. That's funny. I remember hearing that for the first time in the Civil War documentary from PBS. That was just awesome. Alright, boop, boop. There we go, perfect. These guys are actually in very good locations, well sighted. Good job for picking this spot out. I would rather have had these guys a little bit further back. We'll set them up here. These two, I'm going to put them on the left flank. There you go. And then I'll set Lee back here, like behind a building. Well, in that, we'll start the battle with whatever they come at us with. They're bringing more men forward. Good job to start. We'll be under constant barrage from that artillery and the future artillery as well. But we are hitting this artillery already, so I'm fine with that. Our men will just have to focus fire. Hope that they commit serious blunders and run off as they fight, you know, they commit themselves little by little. We are very well sighted for defensive purposes. Oh, if we could hit them now while they're tied up like this, we could kill entire guns and their, what do you call their troops or whatever. And now they're just going to sit right out here, just outside of view. See, there you go. We've knocked out another one. We must continue that same attitude of trying to knock out entire guns and gun crews. Breaking, they're shattering everywhere. They're bringing more men up the middle. They're all artillery. Continue firing, men. We have great artillery. Forward we shall move, so we can begin firing on these men. These artillery. Very good shooting. Forward we shall move again. I think we've actually destroyed the majority of the forces after us, so I'm going to go ahead and say, you, fine sir, shall hit this one. You fine sure shall hit sure. You fine sure shall hit shish one. I obviously cannot speak today. Having that problem all the entire time. There we go. Hit both of them. Hit shattered this guy down to 6 men. Shattered this guy down to 27. That's the end of the battle. Apparently a close victory, but I don't feel like I lost that many men. Maybe 100, 150? I lost 202 to kill 1051. These guys start falling back. Yes, all of you fall back. That little guy raids. Woodstock Farmland, the socket bayonet. McClellan versus Scott. In Washington, the surging popularity of General George McClellan helped prompt him to challenge his superior, the legendary General Winfield Scott. The general's disagreements over strategy became more public, and since nearly 40 years separated the two men, Age was a factor. The disagreement spilled into President Lincoln's cabinet and eventually involved Lincoln himself. Scott submitted to a request to retire, and then they had McClellan. Confederate dissension with Indians and stuff like that. Funny thing is, the way that the Confederates treated like Indians was really good. They kind of was like, hey, you know what? You can have that Oklahoma territory out there. Remember, it was the United States and the Union government that kicked you off your lands, not the Southerners. We didn't do that. Come on, we all know the Southern legislatures were pushing that. Come on, but still, they kind of were able to pin it on them, saying, you know, we didn't do that. We're going to treat you nice. We'll treat you like good Confederate citizens if you promise to help us fight, which, there was a lot of that, a lot of Indians owned slaves, so it wasn't very surprising that they helped. Let's take this point on this hill. We'll move these men around the side of that hill. Forward to progress. We have men moving. This should, it probably won't get rid of them, but, it would be a good way to knock a lot of them out. You ready? Fire! What is this? Cavalry. We killed their commander. There's some dragoons. Not a whole lot more. Just we should be firing down on them as we are. Ooh, look who it is. We staring you down. Alright, y'all seem to be running. I don't see a reason to step in, really. Maybe to go help them. Okay, in the battle, heroic victory. Again, easy victories. Right now, it's really, they are kind of disorganized. They got too much space to cover, so we just need to... Ooh, and that's a very good victory on my part. There we go. Let's start pushing north.
Can't do that, sir.
From here, now that we have completely secured Louisiana. There's 585. The State House. There's that. We can go ahead and fix up. Well, those troops I think are already getting fixed by the looks of it. Go ahead and do clearances because we need to take care of that. They could technically walk across, but I don't know. What's being done? Presidential Palace in Richmond was finished. Is there anything higher than that? There absolutely is. The Somerset House. Well, we'll build it. I see no reason not to. It's just helping.
Sir.
You men, take Washington. Demand its surrender. They accepted it. We shall take it for our own. The Confederates have marched into Washington today. Let all tremble before our might. Now, what will make up my second one? There's line infantry, 150, 42. we have like a certain number of those? Yeah, I can only have 10. Give me 2 of these Confederate 12-pounder for the Napoleons. Give me Stonewall Jackson. And then, yeah, that's all I can really afford. I'm going to go ahead and move those in, get a couple line infantry with them, and then we'll come hit. Like, maybe have like 5, and we'll come move up to here. That's probably like the most appropriate thing I can do. Alright, okay. Yeah, we'll come knock out that guy, bring in here, and then we'll be prepared. I mean, Philadelphia is an easy target. There's just all these guys out here, and I don't think I could just leave Maryland and Washington alone. Not until I can at least get men, like, focusing out here. But we are looking good. I mean, I'm 5, 6 turns away from moving. Make ready. I'm okay with that. In the turn. Just look at all those Union troops. You must be so mad that I took your actual capital. It's funny, if the United States would have lost the Civil War, they probably wouldn't have worked out of Washington one bit. Yeah, we're not going to do anything that's going to give up any territory here. Yeah, they probably would have. Federal disaster at Ball's Bluff. Late this month, Federal General McClellan ordered a major reconnaissance near Leesburg, Virginia, which held important ferry points on Potomac River. The force was commanded by Brigadier General Charles Stone, who led his men across the river at Ball's Bluff, a steep ridge on the Potomac south bank. As Stone's troops crossed, the Confederates in the area attacked. Federalists tried withdrawing, but their boats were swamped and many were shot or drowned while trying to swim back across river. The Federalists had suffered another humiliating defeat. On this kill was Edward Baker, a personal friend of President Lincoln. While Baker became a martyred hero, Stone was condemned for this debacle. He was accused of friendliness with the enemy, ineptness in command, and outright treason. Stone was imprisoned without formal charges. Although he was later exonerated, his career was ruined nonetheless. McClellan, who had ordered the reconnaissance, was too popular to face serious scrutiny for now. Yeah. Unfortunate stuff. McClellan was just too big of a person, or hero, or whatever you want to call it, for the side for them to be able to just lose all that and face that kind of scrutiny in front of the public. They really needed a hero. The United States seriously needed a hero. Bad enough that they would, make somebody look really bad in the meantime. Which makes sense, though. I mean, think about how bad the war was going in 1861 and really early 1862. It wasn't really until, like, Antietam and then later Gettysburg and the combined victories at Gettysburg and Vicksburg that really saw the turn of the war really, like, obviously in the favor of the Union. Could this guy, like, leave? Yeah, he could leave. Go here. By the time you get there, I'll be ready to push on. I'll probably come take... The fastest way there is that way, but I'll come here and then go north. You have 3 line infantry. Okay, this all looks good. This guy's is going to go north to St. Louis, where he'll be useful in commanding that region. Might move him after him, I'm not sure. Cobbled roads out here. There you go, metal roads. Maybe we can move a little bit faster. I find it funny that in a regular vanilla empire, we can move across that territory so much faster. Maybe it's just the huge numbers of men have slowed us down. I'm not sure. Because you think we're working in Empire, we're working with like men of 2,000. We're not working with too much larger than that. The Trent Affair. Jefferson Davis has named 2 distinguished Southerners, James M. Mason of Virginia and John Slidell of Louisiana, as commissioners to represent Confederate interests abroad. Mason in England and Slidell in France. They get out of Charleston, a blockade runner, and then they are captured aboard a British steamer named the Trent. And pretty much the Union says, "Hey, you've got," they come out here like Nassau, and they catch them here, and they're like, "How could you do that? Why do you have Confederate men aboard?" And they take them prisoner, and it's a really big affair. It's called the Trent Affair, and it almost brings England and France into the war. Really England, because it was their stuff. We fought because of the impressment of U.S. sailors and to the British Navy in 1812. We about did the exact same by stopping on in international waters. We stopped a British ship and took men off of a boat. So needless to say, by the end of it, it was such a big deal that Lincoln was like, we pretty much have to backtrack and say we're sorry for doing this, but everybody, what's going on now. Our army here is of those 3. I want to get... There you go. I think that'll be fine. A 6-man group that can come out here, hit that, then hit that. We'll go here. Those men have recouped. They're all good to go. I mean, there's this huge group under William Hancock. These really, again, they focus so much on cavalry and artillery. Yeah, there's the Iron Brigade there. My men, we hit here, sit here on Washington, and we could really, as you can see, we control this whole area. What did we build? Palatial Estate, State Capitol in Wichita, State Capitol in New Orleans. Montreal has the metal roads now. New town emerges up in Upper Canada. I'm going to make a church school out of it just so we can start changing things around to Protestantism, as we should be doing. This will go to Great Estates. Looks like, Great Britain got this back, but maybe we can have rebels hit it again. I don't want to fight Great Britain if I don't have to. We just got tons of money right now. A lot of it's just from trade. Tax is very low. Other diplomatic negotiations and protectorates. Okay. Is there anybody else that would be like, hey? Yeah, even Grand Columbia and Haiti are unfriendly to me. Not the best of friends. Yes, sir. Let's move here. Let's double check our infrastructure everywhere. Make sure it's at least as good as it can be. Which I find very funny. We had a big infrastructure problem in the South during the Civil War, and here we are now. We are like the infrastructure kings. I focus so much on that infrastructure is what we do best now. Ready for order. I actually want you to come here, like just outside, just in case. Sir. Yep, you're 3 turns away from there. That costs 10,000 for a global trade company. Yeah, worth it. 4,500 for a sugar warehouse and 4,500 for a cotton warehouse. How's our trade going? Just fine. We're not going to have to worry about getting hit on blockades, I don't think, because nobody can make ships. So perhaps we should start down here and then, you know, finish this whole place up, then move on to the next state, which is like Georgia, and work our way up and really work that stuff through. Let's end the turn. Go ahead and move to the next little bit. Philadelphia is really what's going to drive things. There's rebellions in... Is there further rebels going on? I think the U.S. is putting rebels down elsewhere. Maybe they don't like the way that the war is going. I mean, I would hate the way the war is going if I was them. Fort Frontenac out here. Yeah, they stopped that. Battle of Belmont. Construction report, Metaled Road State House in Cheyenne. We need to fix that. Battle of Belmont in Kentucky. The Confederates strengthened their defensive line from Cumberland Gap to Columbus. Pro-Confederate officials adopted an ordinance of secession, and thus Kentucky joined Missouri in having both a pro-federal and a pro-Confederate government in the same state. To counter the Confederate occupation of Columbus, a federal force under Brigadier General Ulysses S. Grant captured Belmont, Missouri, which was across the Mississippi River from Columbus. However, Confederates counterattacked and drove Grant's forces to their boats on the river. Nothing was gained or lost in Grant's first skirmish. The funny thing about this is that Kentucky was like, we're going to remain neutral, and the Confederates actually violated that neutrality first by trying to stop the Union from using Kentucky to launch attacks into Tennessee. So if the Confederates hadn't have done that, they probably would have secured a spot where Kentucky wasn't going to even come into the fight. So, you know, just another little piece here, just something else I've thought of here at the last second before I close this out here, which is what I plan to do now. We're we're doing really well, though. I mean, we're sitting here on top of 15 territories in very good shape. We still have 5 territories that we absolutely have to take. We haven't really made much moves on that, but we are making our first moves on that now here. Going from St. Louis, Missouri, onward. Up here. Yeah, these guys are slowly getting where I want them. See if I pull them off now, what happens. 2 turns away. We should be there shortly to be able to handle that anyway. And these guys will push out. Probably go ahead and just have them knock out this and then go north against Sioux Falls, since that's a pretty good little spot that the Union is using. If we, you know, I think Philadelphia was having problems. Yeah, war weariness. They're hating it. They're hating this war. If I can continue to push that, then they're probably going to really start to falter before long, especially when I start taking all this from them. Then it'll just be like a quick hit here and there and just keep moving across. I think that would be pretty easily accomplished, and we can really focus back on our economy while we move on. We do have a force here. We're ready to move out here to Clover Plantations and then move up to Woodstock. So we're in good shape. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it right here. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Maybe channel link for Discord in the description below. And I'll see you all next time.